Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Section 16. First of all, Bodhasara class. Section 16, subsection 17, we are on verse number 3. Okay. So we are in the middle of it. Let us revise what we have studied so far, then see what remains to be tied up. Shitoshnam katutiktamamlamadhuram ksharam vichitram rasaihi yattat yattasyasya samattvabhavamadhuna पर्ककृतश्चेद्यदि मुख्योऽयं मधुपर्क उत्तमरसः तेनामुना सादरम् पूज्यानामपि पूज्य एष परमः देवः सदा पूज्यताम्. Going through the steps of the puja, the traditional steps are what are being discussed here. And so the traditional steps are, first there is Guru Dhyanam, we saw that, very beautiful one, in verse number 2. And then now in verse number 3, we have the step called Madhu Parkam. And on a little petal of a flower or a leaf, is some kind of tastes are offered to Bhagavan. And it has different tastes. All the 6 tastes are there, little bitter, little, all these things, sour, everything. But then generally in Madhuparka, we have just some honey and ghee and some things like that. So that is what is the a little petal, rose petal or some flower petal dipped in honey, and then some ghee is offered. It's called Madhuparkam Nivedayami. I offer to you Madhuparka. And last time I joked that it was some kind of a palate cleanser for Bhagavan. Why does Bhagavan need a palate cleanser? Because, Bhagavan has to deal with you. That is why. And so a little bit, so this is some kind of a palate cleanser before the Naivedya is offered. Some little sweetness that is given. And so, what is this sweetness? So, the sweetness here is your own, what is this Madhuparka? The Madhuparka here is your own raga and dvesha. Raga, dvesha, strong preferences and prejudices, and krodha, desire, kama, that is raga, dvesha. Then krodha, when the desire is thwarted, you have krodha. Krodha means anger. Then lobha, avarice, moha, delusion, mada, pride, arrogance, matsarya. Matsarya means jealousy. So these are all the 6 asuras, the 6 what should I say? The 6 emotions that take over, even especially when one is not looking. There is that kind of a hubris, and even after Vedanta study, one has to be vigilant for that, because even there is this what is that called, uh, pitfall. One thinks, for example, I am beyond everything. Why are you beyond everything? I am beyond everything because I have jnanam, atma jnanam. Pujya Swamiji used to call this enlightenment ahankara. Yes, this is this is something which is very interesting. enlightenment, ahankara. So I don't have to deal with anybody. I don't have to, I'm out of this world, literally. And I don't have to deal with the day-to-day people, because after all, they are not exposed to Vedanta. They don't know anything. What do they know? This is something that has to be minded, because this all sneaks in. The ahankara, the ego is very, very sneaky fellow. And so here, uh, it's a beautiful offering, because the question is, where do these emotions come from? Where did they come from? You can't say it is all socialization. And even though it may be nice to blame the parents once in a while, you can't put your ragadveshas on the parents. You can't say, oh, my anger is because of the father, because of the mother. Because you see a 2-month-old child, its face red in anger because it has not been attended to, or if the mother was late in feeding it or something. You see that, you see the anger, you see all these 6 emotions. In a small baby, you can see most of them. And so that shows that it is not so much nurture. Nurture is also there, but it is also prakriti, nature. What is this nature? Not swarupa, prakriti. That's why I used a different word. So in English, for everything we say nature. Swarupa means that without which I cannot be. That which is intrinsic to me. Kama, Krodha are not intrinsic to one, because in sleep one is without Kama, without Krodha. And so therefore, this is Prakriti. Prakriti means Maya Prakriti. Prakriti means the effect of the 3 gunas. One is in the matrix of the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, and so this is the birthplace of anger and all these colorations of various emotions. That is the birthplace. and so therefore you cannot say that it is because of mother, father, etc., because it seems to be Bhagavat Srishti. Bhagavat Srishti means Bhagavan's creation. And so much Bhagavan has already said in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvesham Buddhau Ragadveshau Vyavasthitau. In every buddhi, raga and dvesha, vyavasthita means the arrangement for the raga and dvesha to sit in every buddhi has already been made. Oh, so that means I don't have to do anything. I can continue to be angry. I can continue to be arrogant. No, read the next line. Tayoho vasham na agachet. You have free will. Don't come under their spell, O Arjuna. The Lord tells Arjuna, Tau hi asya paripanthinau. These two, the raga, dvesha, and all their fallout, kama, krodha, etc., tau paripanthinau means they are your enemies. Asya purushasya paripanthinau. They are the enemies of every seeker of the self. And so, therefore, we have this intriguing setup. Anger is there, fear is there, sorrow is there, arrogance is there, pride is there, greed is there, and moha, the effects of Atma Ajnanam in general, the delusion, is there. Along with all these things that are there, is also the ability to override them. That switch, the button to press to override and have a say over the emotions is also there. Now, what is this button? Part of it is right here. So, where did these emotions come from? The answer is Bhagavan. And so, if they came from Bhagavan, what do? You offer it back to Bhagavan. Offer it back to Bhagavan, because Whereas, because the thing is, it's very difficult to deal with it on your own. Very, very difficult. It's not easy at all. And so, it is with a certain understanding. And what do you say? This is not my doing. It has come here. And so, this myriad of vichitra rasa. Vichitra means these weird rasas. Rasa here is a pun here. Rasa means emotions. Like in Bhasa or Kalidasa's plays, we have rasa. 9 emotions, Navarasa. 9 kinds of emotions are to be, depicted in every play. And the play that has a gamut of all emotions, play, dance, performance, everything, which has the gamut of all emotions, is considered very successful. Navarasa. And so there is happy, there is sad, there is bibhatsa, there is revulsion, there is anger, there is adbhuta, there is wonder, ashcharya, all these things. So there is a pun on rasa. Rasa here means tastes and emotions. Only in Sanskrit. It's really amazing. So these 6 tastes, which are in the form of vichitra rasa, weird emotions. Why are they weird? Because they don't sit well in the heart. Nobody likes to be angry. Nobody is comfortable being upset and arrogant and deluded all the time. And so, these strange rasas, hot, cold, glowing hot, glowing cold, shita, ushna, then katu, bitter, tiktam, no, sorry, tiktam, bitter, katu, pungent, and amlam, sour, madhuram, sweet. All these, charam, salty, all these weird rasas. Then tasya asya samatva bhavam, getting to a place of equanimity with these rasas, with these emotions, is the palate cleanser offered to Bhagavan. And so, the understanding first that this is a step by step journey. First is, this is already there. This is part of Bhagavan's Srishti. But then free will is also part of Bhagavan's Srishti. And with the help of this free will, I can override these emotions. But I can't do them without the help of Bhagavan. This is the next understanding. And if I can't do them without the help of Bhagavan, that means what? That means I need to take the help of Bhagavan. So first surrender these emotions as an offering to Bhagavan. Oh, these kinds of offerings exist? Yes. Why not? Because it is all Bhagavat Srishti. Tera tujhko arpan, we say in Hindi. Whatever is there for you, this is what is there for you, and then, I'm giving yours back to you. This is what it is. And in other words, without your help, I cannot override this. So as I'm giving you these 6 tastes of all these emotions, I pray for samatvam, equanimity. I pray first. How do you get equanimity? First, to get to the place of accepting them, that they are here. And then, what if I can't accept? Accept the non acceptance. They are here. And yes, I lost it. Yes, I was not very forthcoming in this interaction. Yes, I could have handled this differently. These are all these are all ways of coming to a sense of acceptance. Acceptance of one's own imperfections in the everyday. One comes to an understanding of that. And then, and offering it to Bhagavan, saying, please show me a way. Please let this offering be the first step towards samatvam. And then here there is another pun. Samatva bhavam adhuna parkah. And then if you read it quickly, samatva bhavam madhuna parkah. Madhuna means you sweeten it up. In a way, it's a pun. So you sweeten up these emotions, in the course of acceptance. The sweetness of all this comes out. Sweetness comes out when you accept that which is bitter. The sweetness comes out. Just like after the churning of this ocean, the mythical ocean, when it was churned by the devas on one side and the asuras on one side, churning the ocean. So first what came? Poison came. And Lord Shiva neutralized the poison by taking it in and, of course, arresting it at his throat. He did not, take it in means he did not internalize the collective unconscious. He helped by showing how it can be neutralized, and it can be neutralized because otherwise the vicious fumes of this hala hala poison were threatening to destroy the earth. And so this hada hada poison represents the kama, krodha, etc., not of one person, but the all of humanity. And so he neutralized this, he shows us how to neutralize it and how to seek the grace of Lord Shiva to neutralize it. That's why we have this, what is that called? Pradosha Puja. And this Pradosha Puja is what is, is very beautiful because there it is that evening time. Pradosha means evening. So it is that evening time when on the 13th day of the moon cycle, but this is when this happened. And so then there is this special worship offered to Lord Shiva. May all these negative emotions be neutralized with your grace. Very, very beautiful. So then, when that surrender happens, what remains is only sweetness, and that sweetness is offered. Kritasched yadi. What if I were to offer that? It's a very nice kind of a wonder. What if I were to offer that? And then मुख्यः अहम् मुख्यः अयं मधुपर्कम् मधुपर्कः उत्तमरसेन तेन अमुना सादरं स पूज्यानामपि पूज्य एष परमः देवः सदा पूज्यता. So first we'll see the last part. Devah sada pujyata. May one always worship Bhagavan. How? In this manner of seeing one's own fallacies as part of this offering, as part of the surrender. And then out of this, what is that? Then this, the sweetness that is gained from this surrender is called Madhuparka here, proverbially. And then that, so sadharam, along with, respectfully, worshipfully, I worship Pujyanamapi Pujya Devam, Devaha. So I worship the God of all gods, Ishvara, and then may one worship in this manner. Very, very nice. So the six emotions, one kind of a, what's that? The six emotions, is a very important meaning here. Then the six emotions in the form of the six tastes are offered to Bhagavan, especially in the areas of helplessness, where the anger is difficult to accept, where the pain and the fear are difficult to accept. That is where the offering, that is the exact place where the offering is done. And then, so these are the six tastes, and the six tastes are offered. It's like a Bharatanatyam dance performance, where all the emotions in a particular dance piece or a theater, play, in a particular play are offered to the audience. They are depicted and offered. They're offered to Bhagavan really, and the audience partakes of this. That the Bharatanatyam dance is a form of worship. It's not dance. And this is, it's not just some kind of an artistic form. All art is the expression of Bhagavan. We don't have anything that is secular. And so, really speaking, when the in India, sometimes they have this Bharatanatyam dance. The Bharatanatyam dance is first done with the invocation of Nataraja, Bhagavan in the form of the ultimate dancer, the one that keeps this world going and moving, the one that keeps us also dancing on our toes with all the dharmas overflowing. And so this is Bhagavan. And then so this Nataraja is invoked first. So the dancer comes out with flower petals in hand and then actually does a puja there, small one. And then there is Bhumi Puja because she's going to trample on Mother Earth. And there may be so many missteps. And then we always believe that, underneath the ground are living small beings. They are living. And then trampling, stomping on the ground may disturb and hurt them. So she takes pardon by touching the ground and then Mother Earth. And then, she asks for pardon and then touching her eyes. She does that. And then many times now, with the quote unquote secular, with this attempted secularization of these dance forms, and so they will say, "Oh, the dancer belongs to a different religion, and she's not going to worship Nataraja." They don't know what Nataraja is. Otherwise, there is no problem in worshipping Nataraja. There is no problem at all. And so she's not going to do this because she doesn't believe in Mother Earth. And so she's just going to do the dance as a form of as depicting something. That doesn't work. It is not because the whole form is worship. The entire form is just worship. And so that really speaking, that doesn't work at all. But still, that is there. And so the whole thing is worship. And in the Bharatanatyam dance, we see all these emotions are given back to Bhagavan. And we do that at the puja altar. And this is the palate cleanser. Oh, is it a palate cleanser for Bhagavan? No, it's a palate cleanser for you. Okay. You are the one that need this purification. And so this is the best form of puja. Very nice verse. And because this is a kind of in the 16-step puja, this is often not talked about, this Madhuparka, but in the elaborate puja, it is done. And then after that, what is the next step? Snanam, Abhisheka, bathing the deity. This is what is the next step. The next step is bathing the deity. And then when you bathe the deity, you just, say some mantras and everything. Let us see what his version of bathing, snanam, looks like. Sarvangina sukhavaham muhurahah yajjanmano majjanam शुद्धे बोधसुधाम्बुधौ शुचितरे स्नानं विशुद्धिप्रदम् आभानं स्फुरति द्वितीयमिव यत्तत् सर्वमाचम्यता इत्युक्तो गुरुभिर्तदेशविधृतिः चित्ते स एवाचमः. So two steps are covered in this mantra. Snanam and Achamanam. Achamanam is again the purification of the mouth, where you are asked to sip the water, sometimes once, sometimes 3 times, as as it is called for. So this is called Achamanam. And then, so first before that is Snanam. Snanam, how do you offer the bathing ceremony for Bhagavan? How to offer that? Sarvangina. Sarvangina means all the limbs, the whole entire body. Sarvangina sukhavaham. That sukhavaham means that which is delightful. That which is delightful for the whole body. And what is it that is delightful? Muhuhu. Repeatedly. Muhuhu, aho. Look at the wonder of this. Aho is a, expression of wonder. Aho, muhuhu, repeatedly. Yat janmano majjana, where the entire birth along with its cause, Atma Ajnanam, is immersed. Majjanam, immersion. Here, no, we have to be very careful about how to translate. Majj, to drown, you will see in the Dhatu Patha, but that is not how, it's not the drowning. The drowning is terrifying, but here it is immersion. Yat janmano majjanam. So the entire janmanaha majjanam means the entire birth along with its antecedents, which is Atma Ajnanam, is immersed. Where is it immersed? Shuddhe Bodha. Shuddhe Bodha Sudham Budhau Shuchitare. With this whole birth and everything that it invokes. All the times one was denied a chocolate in childhood, all the balloons that were snatched away, all the sibling rivalry, all the difficulties in school, and of course the difficulties in college, and the difficulties in the job, if one managed to get a job and hold on to it, and the difficulties, of course, in marriage, parenting, etc. All these difficulties, which comprises the life. Oh, but I'm not married. Doesn't matter. Even if you're not married, what happens? You have difficulties. It's not only that married people have difficulties. Okay, yeah, and you can't have that idea at all. Even if you're not married, there are many difficulties, and then so all those difficulties, which is called life. Janma. And what is this Janma? Janma is nothing but karma. Yeah, the whole Janma, what else is it? It's opening, it's the automatic, what is that, the combination lock suitcase called Prarabdha, for which you don't know the combination, opening suddenly, and it is got two partitions. Oh, for shirt and pants? No, 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 Papa and Punya. So Papa pops up. Oh, backache. Then little bit punya pops up. Thankfully, you found the balm that helps. And then another papa pops up. And at least if it is, as some of the scholars say, alternative cycles of papa and punya, then it is bearable. Because whenever papa comes, the next is punya. But that's not how it is. That's not how it is at all. If that was there, then it is completely predictable and entirely bearable. Because you say, oh, now I'm having Papa, don't worry. Tomorrow what will come? Punya. Tomorrow means in next day, next minute, whatever it is. Punya will come, hey, yippee. And then when Punya comes, you say, oh, next day, Papa, doesn't matter. After that, Punya will come again. That is very bearable. But that's not how it is. Dukkha, sukha, dukkha. And if it is Shani Mahadasha, then 18 years, dukkha, 20 years, dukkha, Rahu Mahadasha, 18 years, dukkha, sukha. Some nice Antardasha came. Antardasha means these periods of Rahu, they will have little, 1 year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years. And if that particular planet, which is the period, which is governing the sub period, is well placed in your horoscope, then what happens? You have a little bit of sweetness there. Little bit. This is what life is. Janma means karma. Whose karma? Don't say Bhagavan's karma. No, it's your own karma. It's your own karma being gift wrapped and given back to you. It's given back to you. So the whole Janma is nothing but exhausting karma, which itself is exhausting. And then in the panic of exhausting karma, some things I do to try to avoid it. Sometimes what one may take recourse to spiritual solutions and try to neutralize the karma through prayer, rituals, etc. Wonderful. Or sometimes one takes recourse to adharmic situations and tries to neutralize the karma by creating more karma. And then the janma goes on and on and on and on. This is what it is. So then, what if the janma along with the cause of this janma? What is the cause of janma? Atma ajnana. I don't know who I am. Self-ignorance is the cause of janma. And then what happens? Self-ignorance is the cause of janma. And then as a result of this janma, there are other janmas. Don't ask where is the first janma, because ignorance doesn't have a beginning. Because if ignorance had a beginning, we would be in very murky waters of self-knowledge. Self-knowledge would suddenly become murky, not clear. Because if ignorance has a beginning, then we have to say what was there before ignorance. Then we have to say knowledge. So then, how come knowledge replaced ignorance? And what is the guarantee it will not do that again? And so, therefore, ignorance is anadi, without beginning, but it thankfully has an end. And so, what to do to make this the last janma? Marinate the janma in Atma Jnanam. That is what it is. Yeah, like that gulab jamun analogy. So this frying the ball of dough from the sanchita karma, from the endless karma, a little piece of dough is broken off, and then what is it? You make it into a ball, and it is put in the hot oil of samsara. It is frying along with other jivas into a crisp. Then that slotted angle spoon comes, that jali spoon comes, and then that is the Guru's grace. And lifts this lifts this from the hot oil of samsara, permanently frying to a crisp. And then what does the Guru do? The Guru drops it in the 3-string sugar syrup laced with rose essence, saffron, and what is ilaichi, cardamom, flavorful and sweet concoction of the Shastra. The sugar syrup or the Upanishads, really, that's all, because it's just sweetness. Wherever you go, it's sweetness. Whatever you study, it's sweet, because it tells you you are nothing like what you thought you were. You are the whole, you are free, you are wonderful, you are great, you are you are the one. You are nothing like, you are not finite. You are not mortal. You are not subject to time. You are not subject to space. You are all pervasive Ishvara. You are one with Ishvara. Is nothing but sweetness. Then what is the saffron, cardamom, and the rose essence? That's why it's called gulab jamun, because it has to have rose essence. So what is that? That is the various. Those are the various pedagogies deployed by the teacher to make the knowledge more flavorful, attractive, easy to assimilate, and fragrant. Those are, So what is the saffron? One prakriya. Avasthatraya prakriya. Waker is you. Sleeper is nothing but you. Dreamer is nothing but you. But what are you? Neither waker, nor dreamer, nor sleeper. Very nice. This is the saffron. And what is the gulab? The rose essence. Rose essence is karana karya prakriya. That which is called the karya, the effect, is non-separate from the cause. That cause is Brahman, and everything that is here, the so-called effect, is non-separate from the cause. Karana karya prakriya. And then what is the cardamom powder sprinkling? That we can say anvaya vyatireka. The prakriya, the pedagogical tool of invariable concomitance. So, what is that? That is also a certain very nice methodology, very easy to assimilate. Wherever there is smoke, there is what? Fire. But the other one, so smoke is there B is there, that means what? A is there. So wherever there is B, A is present. But then, is it wherever there is smoke, there is fire. But then you can't say it the other way. Wherever there is fire, there is smoke. Not always. Not always true. So therefore, this is what is called Anvaya Vyatireka. Why is that important for Vedanta? Because you say Jagat is there because Brahman is there. Jagat is not there, Brahman is still there. That this. So these are the various prakriyas that are acting upon the fried, the one who almost died, jiva, that is now marinating in the sugar syrup. Listening to all these prakriyas, it's a total immersion into the Shastra. What a delightful immersion. This should be effortless. You didn't even have to make your way from the frying pan onto this, or you didn't even have to see how far I have to jump out of this hot oil. The Guru took care of that. The Guru's grace took care of that. And then you have to sit there. And even in the example, gulab jamun, if you dunk it in the sugar syrup for 10 minutes and then try to eat it, it will taste nasty. It has to stay there for 8 hours. And then what? The next morning, then it has become one with the sugar syrup. Oh, so 8 hours of immersion in Vedanta is enough? Yes, if you are a small ball, then it is there. No. 8 hours, you can't, translate it like that. And there is no set time because it's all on you, because we are talking of the timeless, number one. And we are talking of something you are never separated from. Number two. And thirdly, it all depends on your own receptivity, which is the next, the next verse here. So your own receptivity and preparation. How long does it take for that sweetness to exude? So then this is what is Snanam. Snanam is repeated immersion in what? Shuddhe bodha sudham budhau. Bodha. Shuddhe bodha. In that clear knowledge. In that ambudha means in that lake, in that ocean, in that water body of clear knowledge. In that ocean, in that placid lake of clear knowledge, which is free of the ripples of doubt, the tsunami of despair, and the murkiness of vagueness and error. Impurities of error and vagueness. In that placid lake, the repeated dunking, the repeated immersion, Sudham Budhav, in the ocean of immortality. Which are the scriptures? Which are the Upanishads? Which are all the secondary works on Vedanta? Which are all of them? So then, this is what is the immersion. And this kind of an immersion is what is being talked about. Very nice. So in this immersion, what is that Shuchitare? Shuchitare means, again, pure. Shuddhe means clear. Shuchitare, pure. In this pure, clear teaching, a teaching that is not sullied by subjectivity, a teaching that is not sullied by the unconscious mind, a teaching that is kept pure because of my own receptivity and because of my own ability to transcend my ragadveshas. Ragadveshas are like the clothes you take off and keep at the back. The ahankara, the status, these are all the clothes you take off and keep at the back. And then you go in this water. And that is what is illustrated in this beautiful story of Lord Krishna. All the gopis bathing in the water. And then they had kept all their clothes neatly on the rock. And Krishna is sitting on the branch of a tree. How do they know? Plays his flute. And the melody makes them look up. Oh, Krishna, you're there. We want to come to you. We want to play with you. We want to dance with you. He says, come. I'm waiting for you. Please come. And then they try to look at the bank where they had kept all their clothes. The clothes are missing. What happened to our clothes? Krishna just points to another branch where he has hung all of them neatly. Come and get it, he says. And then we are all like, no, 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 no. No, 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 we can't come like that. We can't be naked like this and come. This is not fair. What have you done? You shouldn't have hidden our clothes. You shouldn't have taken our clothes. You've taken all of our clothes and put them, and you're expecting us to greet you like this. And he says, okay, lady, stay in the water, become a prune. How long you'll be there? Let's see. And, don't come out. And of course, that option is also not there. And so here, the thing is this, and this is all, when Western academia, I call it academia, okay? So when Western academia lays its hands on stories like this, then all this outrage happens because they don't understand. They don't understand that this is not the first Me Too moment in history. This is not what it is all about. This is not what we are talking about. Here, what are the things that one has to take off to dip into this stream of knowledge? What are the masks? What are the fears? What are the resistances that one has to give up, which one clads in all the time in order to have this persona, the presentation of the self as perfect, as decent, as having no raga dveshas. This is how one presents oneself. Oh, I am very calm. I am very compassionate. I am extremely giving. When somebody is looking. Otherwise, I'm not giving at all. No, it's like those photographs. There is a big, some kind of a felicitation, and then there is one donor giving a check. And then what happens? And then the check is also blown up, made 50 times bigger, and then the amount is written in big big letters, and then the donor is giving to the chairperson of the non-profit or something, and then you have to have a photo op of the person handing over the check, and that moment the photo has to be taken, and then it has to be published in all the papers and in everything. So if somebody is looking, yes, one is giving, one is, one is that there was one, one has all these appearances. There was one comic, of a bad cat. What was his name? Sylvester. And the Sylvester always used to terrorize a small canary, yellow bird, Tweety. And, and so there was one grandma in whose house these Sylvester and Tweety lived. Bad idea, but the grandma who kind of seemed out of it, but her presence was enough to keep this Sylvester in check. So he would have caught in one, in one frame. Sylvester would have caught this Tweety bird and is about to make a snack. Grandma walks in, and Sylvester he takes the other paw and pets and says, "Oh, very good bird, good birdie." This is, this makes us laugh because we recognize ourselves. We recognize ourselves. These are the clothes that we wear. And the immersion requires that these come off. These come off. We are able to greet the Shastra, naked, devoid of all these protections, defense mechanisms, offense mechanisms, protective mechanisms. And so then, that is the kind of majjanam, snanam, vishuddha pradam. Vishuddhi pradam means that that immersion cleans one of all these things. And then in a way, Even if you go to the river of the water of the Upanishads, even if you immerse yourself in the water of the Upanishads, fully glad, you know what? Upanishad eats away at all these defenses. That's what it is. You come out without the need for all these frills, ruffles, and all these things that you thought you did. Status, name, fame, and how much money you have. All these things. It's not about the money. It's about thinking I have this much money, so therefore I am somebody. That is the problem. And so all this, you come without all this. And then, we should, so when you come out, what happens? The next two lines talk about this. And then, abhanam spurati. Then you see that, okay, I am still an individual. I still have the body, mind, sense complex. And then, dvitiyam iva spurati. Still, the world has not been swallowed up in this immersion. The immersion was wonderful. It was very nice. It is very wonderful. But then when I come out, I see that everything in Bhagavat Srishti, in the world of Ishvara, including my emotions, including my body, mind, sense complex, including all the things, the trees, the sky, the sun, are all there. But with a difference. Before I went into the to take a dip in the lake, in the placid lake of knowledge, then what? Before that, the duality had a pricking quality. The duality was painful. The duality was coming out to get me. But now when I emerge, Dvitiyam iva vibhati abhanam appearance. The appearance is Dvitiyam iva, as though, as though dual. Why? Because this duality is more of Ishvara's glory and an extension of myself. It is not, it is not something to be afraid of. It's not out to get me. People in the Jagat are not out to get me. This is the fruit of this knowledge. People in the Jagat not out to get me. Duality not out to get me. In fact, there is no duality. It is Dvitiyam iva, as though dual. Dvitiyam iva abhanam spurati. The world shines. The world appears as though it is separate. Yet tat, that which appears, sarvam achamyata. And so this duality is taken up like a sip of ritual water and made into one. And this recalls, the Puranic story that Agastya once, drank up the whole ocean in one sip. Sage Agastya. So here, we have to make this two things clear. So first, you go into this lake or ocean of that ocean of the Upanishads and gain this knowledge. And the Upanishad and that water which you are sipping and drinking, that is not that same that same body of knowledge here. In the second instance, what you are sipping is the duality, the as though duality is sipped up. Is the ease with which you sip a spoonful of water is how the duality is resolved within. That is what is the idea. So, dvitiyam iva yat tat sarvam ajamyatam iti uktaha gurubhihi. This is what has been taught by the Guru. Gurubhihi iti uktaha. Because why has this been taught by the Guru? Because the Guru was taught the same thing from his Guru, her Guru, till Lord Dakshinamurti or Narayana. And then this is what was taught, and this is what the Guru has done. And then this is what the Guru is asking you to do. Vidhriti, vidhritihi chitte sa evachamaha. Vidhritihi means duality. So this separation, the separation, is as though The understanding that the separation is as though is the sipping of the water, which is the next step. So this should not be confused with the snanam, the immersion into the waters of the Upanishad. You are not sipping that. And that is a separate story here. Two steps are covered, as I said. Two steps are covered. First is the sipping of first is the snanam, the immersion into the teaching for as long as it takes to be one with the teachings. And then when you emerge from this immersion, the duality that is as though there is made, the duality that you encounter, the as though duality, is made short shrift of, because with the ease with which you sip you sip a handful of water, in the same way that duality is a non-issue. It is just a offering. And this is how the separation is dealt with by every jnani, because it is not really a separation. And as though separation, the as though is no. Let us make sure we've covered everything by chanting the verse one more time. सर्वाङ्गीन सुखावहं मुहुरहः यज्जन्मनो मज्जनम् शुद्धे बोधसुधाम्बुधौ शुचितरे स्नानं विशुद्धिप्रदम् आभानं स्फुरति द्वितीयमिव यत्तत् सर्वम् आचम्यताम् इत्युक्तो गुरुभिर्तदेशविधृतिः चित्ते स एवाचमः. This is the next step called achamaha. Then after snanam and achamanam, then comes the next step of offering vastram, alankara. Alankara means decorating the deity of worship, the Ishta Devata, or whatever worship is there, like Lord Krishna. You dress up everything, and then so you decorate, and then so achamanam, and then alankaram, vastram samarpayami, abharanani samarpayami. Abharanani means jewels, various jewels. But of course, who is going to bring jewels every day for Bhagavan? Nobody. And so, therefore, we always have plan B. What is plan B? Some rice coated in ghee and turmeric called akshata. And then when you say abharanarthe akshatam samarpayami, vastrartham akshatam samarpayami, akshatam samarpayami. So you give akshata in the instead of clothes. You give akshata instead of what is that? You offer a few rice, a few little bit of rice or grains, or instead of costly jewels. And sacred thread, instead of sacred thread, upavitartham akshatam samarpayami. Instead of sacred thread also I offer, akshata. Don't say naivedyartham akshatam samarpayami. That is a no-no. At least some dry fruit, some banana, something you bring. Instead of the offering, I'm going to give you akshata. You don't do that. Okay? Yeah. But these things chalta hai. It's okay. So then here, so what are the clothes offered to the deity, and what are the alankaras, the decorations, and the abharanas, means jewelry. That is the subject matter of the next verse number 5. श्रद्धा निर्ममता विरागशुचिता निस्सङ्गता पूर्णता भक्तिप्रेमरसप्रसाद परमानन्दादयो ये गुणाः वस्त्रालङ्करणानि तत्र विदुषा देयानि विश्वम्भरे सोऽहं भावमनोहरेण विधिना यद्यद्यथा रोचते. Beautiful. Very nice. So, the first one is Shraddha. we'll just look at this, and then see this next time. So we look at some of it today. Shraddha, to see the meaning of the words. Shraddha is trust. Trust in the Shastra, trust in the Guru. After having led a life of total distrust and suspicion, which one has directed against the world, then you have to come back and allow yourself to trust at least one person and one set of Shastra, the Upanishads, which promise to end this distrust. And so, nirmamata. Nirmamata means the understanding of mm, the understanding that nothing is mine. Nirmamata. It's all given. Viragaha. Viragaha means the vaira, dispassion. Viragaha. Then the next one, Shuchita, inner and outer purity. Nissangata. Nissangata is best described as giving up micromanagement. And then when that has been achieved, give up macro management also. But you have to start somewhere. So first, don't sweat the small stuff. Let it go. Then don't sweat the big stuff either after this has been accomplished. And then after that, don't sweat at all. There is no need to get tensed about anything. So nirmamata, viraga, shuchita, nissangata. Then as a result of not managing or micromanaging, what happens? There is a sense of fullness, limitlessness, happiness, contentment. This is purnata. Bhakti. Bhakti is devotion. Prema rasa. Prema rasa. Prema rasa means a love, a devotional love. So a devotion that has the emotion of love. And then prasada. Prasada means prasada buddhi, glad acceptance of whatever happens. Then Paramananda. Paramananda means the Ananda, the joy that is just an expression of oneself. Adi, Adayaha, Adi means other such similar things. You can see that next time. Ye gunaha, these attributes, these qualities. Vastra alankaranani. Vastra alankaranani. So these are the clothes offered to Bhagavan and the jewelry offered to Bhagavan. By who? Vidusha Deyani. Deyani to be offered. By who? Vidusha. By the discriminative person, by the learned individual. The learned individual will offer one's own Shraddha, one's own non-possessiveness, one's own uninvolvement with everything, one's own fullness as as clothes and jewelry and other offerings to Bhagavan. And who is this Bhagavan? Vishwambhara. Beautiful name for Bhagavan. Vishwambharati, that which fills up the whole universe. Vishwambhare, unto that, in that the offering is done. And here again is a pun because we are talking of vastras. Vastras means clothes. And then Vishwambha, it is the Mahaprana, it is the aspirated consonant bha. But if you say Vishwambara, which is not aspirated, then you say, then you understand it as Vishwambare, the one Vishwam Ambaram Yasya. The whole universe is the clothes for whom? Who are you to offer any vastram? For the one for whom the whole universe is clothes. So there is a very gudhabhisandhi. There is a hidden pun. So sweet. Very, very sweet. So it's like it's a little trolling of the bhakta who says, "Oh, I have offered all these clothes to Bhagavan," and people get very excited. I have offered a 9-yard sari to the goddess. Goddess is, very, very sorry to say this, but the goddess is not waiting for your sari. No, she is the sari for the whole universe, and she herself is the sari for the whole universe, and the whole universe is the sari for her. She's clad in the universe, and so who are we to offer anything? So there is a little pun there, which is fun. And so then how to offer this is also given. Soham bhava manoharena vidhina. It has to be offered as Saha aham, Sa aham, she alone is I, he alone is I. With this bhavana, it is offered. Yad yad yatha rojate means, yad yad yatha rojate means, as one pleases, one can offer this bhavana. Very, very nice. More we'll see. I think the next time it meets is on this class meets is on the 23rd, 2 weeks from now, I think, uh, or 3 weeks from now. Let me just check that and tell you. One second. So uh, today is the first. No, today is the second, and so yes, we'll be meet. This class will be meeting on the 23rd, which is 3 weeks from now. Right. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Tomorrow Mundaka is there, and then before that we have the Bhashya class. Feel free to join.